Hi everyone! Welcome to another pick a card video on my channel. My name is Julie Ann Fay and I'm a professional astrologer and certified angel card reader. On this channel I do pick a card videos and I also talk astrology and fairies and angels. I am a spiritual business owner and you can find out more about my work at julieannfay.com. I also have a new Etsy shop, so I will link that in the description, but you can find that at Julie Ann Fay Healing. All one word, smushed together, no spaces, because Etsy didn't allow enough room for that. And I release my pick a card videos around the new and full moons, and they always coincide with my new email newsletter issues. So I strongly recommend that you subscribe to my email newsletter, because then you'll get up to date with all the pick a card videos and all the latest in my blog posts and my special offerings and all of that. So highly recommend that. And we're gonna get into it. So I'm really excited because I've got some new decks to work with. So I've got the Starseed Oracle here, which has a really cool box. It opens like this. And I worked with this deck earlier in this week. I got it, and yeah, I'm really loving it. It's definitely unique and different, but it's intended to be that way, you know. I finally got these cards, which I have been eyeing up for a long time, and I finally was like, you know what, I'm getting them. I got them on a sale on Hay House. So this is the Goddess Power Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. And then I've got my Wild Yin, what did I say? I keep mixing up words lately. It's kind of crazy. Wild Kuan Yin Oracle. This is like a little mini self-care oracle. And then also the Dragon Oracle cards by Diana Cooper. So those are the decks that I'm using in this pick a card video. And I had something I was going to say, but I don't know what it was. So let's tune in with some singing bowl. Good stuff. And in case you guys aren't aware, if you haven't done a private session with me, I always start by setting a sacred container. So I always clear the space energetically, and then I also infuse loving intention into the space, calling on guides, guardian angels, and ascended masters. I also set the intention to be a channel of messages of love, healing, truth, and peace that people most need to hear right now. So if you are, you know, not vibing with this particular reading, I encourage you to pause. You could always come back to it later. Also, I have a lot of pick a card videos on my channel and other types of videos, so maybe you're just not meant to hear this message right now, and it would be good for you to pause and pick a different one. You know, even though I do kind of timestamp the messages when they go up, they're always timeless because energy doesn't have any time or space, so you can easily re-listen to a message at a different time, you know, and it doesn't make that much of a difference. I also want to mention that I'm playing around with a new schedule to start incorporating Facebook Lives. And I did do a Facebook Live feels like a million years ago, but I guess it was last Friday. And that actually was uploaded onto my YouTube channel, so you can check that out if you missed it. But hopefully you can catch me on next week's Facebook Live. They'll pretty much be on Friday nights and probably between like 8 and 10 p.m. EST. So make sure that you're liking and following me on my Facebook business page so you can stay up to date with when I go live, because during the live experience, I'll open it up for micro paid readings. You can actually get a paid reading with me at a lower rate, but of course it's going to be public, so that's kind of the trade-off. And then, yeah, it's really good. And last week I ended up doing, really didn't catch a lot of people, sadly, but I ended up doing the sign-by-sign forecast for every zodiac sign for the week ahead, which now we've already gotten to that point. But it's still worth a rewatch if you haven't seen it, because it was some really powerful messages that came through. Good stuff. Yeah, so I wanted to share about my email newsletter and the Etsy shop, which is Julie Ann Fay Healing. And then shout out to my membership groups, my Fearlessly Fairy members and my Astro Fairy members if you're watching from there. And people from Sage Deck that have found me and are finding me here, welcome, welcome. If you're finding me from my blog, welcome, welcome. From Facebook, welcome, welcome. Wherever you found me from. It's also great to know where you do find me from, so feel free to leave a comment. If you don't feel comfortable leaving a comment about the pile that you picked, which I love when people do that, by the way, but if you don't feel comfortable doing that, you can just, you know, introduce yourself and say where you found me. That's always fun as well. So I'm gonna queue up these piles off camera and I will be right back. All right, I am back. I also wanted to do a quick shout out to a couple of things that I'm wearing. You guys can partially see the wreckage of the cards that were pulled from the boxes there. First shout out is I totes painted my nails today, and I did that with rocks polish. So well, you really can't see it like that at all. I'm trying to figure out the best way. There we go. That's a good way to see it. So this is actually tiger's eye and then white calcite, and it's actually crystal infused nail polish, which is so exciting, so fairy approved. So there's actually a coupon code I have, which you can use on her Etsy shop. She's a female-owned business and a small business owner, so we like to support small business owners like myself. If you go in the description of this video, there's a link to Julie and Faye's Eco Fairy Guide, and I have a whole bunch of recommended sellers and different types of products that it's a combination of some small business and some not small business, but also good for the environment. So there's a nice mixture of things in there. Also, the lipstick that I'm wearing is from 100% Pure, which is a mineral, or no, sorry, a fruit-based makeup company, which is cruelty-free, and most other products are vegan. If they're not vegan, it's maybe because they have honey or something like that. Check that out in that Eco Fairy Guide as well. And then the eyeshadow, the white kind of sparkly part, that's actually from Southern Magnolia Minerals, which is a mineral-based makeup company. They're also linked in that Eco Fairy Guide. So just wanted to do a shout out to some of those peeps because I love supporting other business owners like myself, and especially things that add to beauty and being fairy approved, that incorporate crystals and you know, minerals and just nature and are good for the environment. That is the way to go. So let's get into it. So I've got the 3 piles here. So if you're new to pick a cards, my first recommendation would be to center yourself. So you might want to pause the video, take a couple deep breaths. I'll take one with you. We'll do 2 more actually. Good stuff. And then what I'm going to do is I also love to, I learn about the card reveals at the same time you guys do, so it's really exciting for me that way. But I try my best to not look at the cards as I'm showing them to you, but essentially they're all gonna look the same from the back, but of course they're gonna have a different energetic imprint, right? So you're going to vibrationally match to a specific pile based on, you know, what you need to hear right now, or your current lessons, or, you know, whatever it may be that's calling to you about listening to this particular pile. So you don't really want to focus on the way they look or even like the way they're presented or anything like that. You really just want to focus on energetically, how does it feel? Some people, so I'm extremely clairsentient, which is through my feelings. So I often can feel, you know, gravitated towards a particular pile, or know like, yeah, that thing is not right for me, or that person's not right for me. So I'm super crazy clairsentient. I'm also clairaudience, so sometimes I'll kind of subtly hear like, yeah, I think it's number 1 or number 2 or number 3. Some people are more clairvoyant, so that you might see it in your third eye, the image of the number, or even sometimes I will see even like a particular deck highlighted in my third eye. You can see that as well. So this is actually a really powerful way for you to connect in with your intuition and tune into what your intuition wants you to know and hear, right? So have some fun with it, but take your time and you don't have to rush. You can pause the video, okay? So this is pile number 1. And this is pile number 2. And this is pile number 3. And I'm gonna do my best to hold them all up at the same time as well, because I know that helps me too. So we've got pile number 1. We got one trying to pop out right here. Pile number 1, pile number 2, not this one, this one. Pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3. All right, I'm gonna pick a pile myself. I have done that. So let's get into it. All right, so my pile 1 peeps. Let's see what messages we have for you. All right, just give me a second to kind of absorb a little bit here what we have going on. I'm gonna rearrange these. Okay. So we did have 2 come up in reverse from the deck that doesn't really do reversals. We'll see if that makes a difference in a little bit. Okay, got it. All right, so I'm gonna start with this card here. So I'm getting the sense with this pile, I know I can relate to this. I'm sure a lot of us can relate to this energy. I'm getting the sense with this pile that, you know, you guys are definitely, I'm just pushing aside these cards, which are in the background, which are bothering me. You guys are feeling slightly depleted and exhausted with the process of how much energy you're putting into things that you want to change, and it's taking them a long time to change, right? So we have here lifting the veil, questioning everything, anything unaligned must go. So I'm really drawn to that questioning everything card, right? So it might be like energetically you are feeling frustrated because maybe you've encountered a lot of setbacks in your life, or just in particular with something you're trying to manifest. We do also have here golden solar dragon, helps you stand in your masculine power with wisdom, let your DNA be reprogrammed and late codes activated, become an inspired leader. And of course, golden solar dragon. So this would be really closely linked to the solar plexus chakra, which is about balancing work and play and your sense of personal authority, boundaries with people, and also confidence. And then from Kuan Yin, really beautiful artwork on these cards. We have grace carries you home. At the end of your efforts, when your resources are exhausted and you're without further recourse, I am there for you with loving wild grace to carry you home. So Kuan Yin is wanting to say, have compassion with this process that's unfolding, because at the end of the day, it's never just you manifesting alone, right? You have people on the other side that are rallying for you and are helping you and are protecting you. You have your guides, your guardian angels, you have the archangels, the fae, if you want to call on them. You have lots of people in, you know, the other realms and the other dimensions that are able to step up even when you feel exhausted and like you don't want to go on. They're there to kind of cheer you on and make sure that you do you know, persevere and continue through. And I think with this, you know, questioning everything, it's just saying like, you're kind of like, okay, where are my answers? You know, I have all of these areas of need that need answers. Where are my answers? But the other thing that follows it is anything unaligned must go. So I think, and especially with this, you know, solar plexus energy card and the being depleted here, this can definitely be an energy about just, needing to set more boundaries and to potentially even cut certain people out of your life because they just drain you of your life force energy, you know, and it's just sometimes certain connections are not meant to be. Sometimes someone is meant to come into your life for just a very short amount of time, and then they shake you up in some type of way and then they leave, and that's your karmic contract complete with that person, right? So setting boundaries is a very important thing, and it's not unspiritual or uncompassionate or wrong to set boundaries. In fact, it's vital, because you only have so many hours in the day, right, to kind of work your light, work or light, whatever that looks like for you in this lifetime. And it's just really, really important that you focus your energy where it's going to have the most impact and the most value. So understanding, you know, and this could even be like boundaries in terms of social media. So, you know, deleting the apps maybe a couple times a week, or moving the app further along on your phone so that you don't automatically go on it. You know, the other day I took a phone detox, and wow, it was so liberating. I got so much done. And those of you that have been following me for a while, you know that part of what got me more into recording videos on YouTube was actually when my phone crashed and died and I couldn't actually get a new phone for a combination of reasons for a good while. I survived without a phone for 2 months. And actually it was very, very, very therapeutic. I did a lot more reading and listening to podcasts. I got a lot more work done. It was a little bit awkward in terms of certain types of communication, but it really, really opened my eyes to how much I was impulsively going on social media channels and consuming content, you know, and I think a lot of people are like that. We just like, it's like that weird part of us that like wants to look and observe, and we really need to work on that as a society, you know, being very like gossipy and trying to be involved in other people's business. And we have to work on also living our own lives and creating in our own lives, you know. So we have here, it's weird, the letters on this card, I'm still getting used to these cards, but that looks like an E, so Iastra, new beginnings. And this has a very kind of frozen look to me. So I really feel like this is nudging you towards more new beginnings in the winter time. So it could also be that you are putting in a lot of work and energy into this manifestation in the here and the now, and you might be frustrated because you're not seeing the results in the fall. But I'm getting the sense that it could even be more of a winter time, that manifestation, that it comes to more form in winter time. And this is card number 13, which would sum to a 4, which is an angel number. So this could also be significant for you. 4 weeks, 4 months, you know, the 4th month of the year, there could be some things there. I'm feeling for a lot of you, it's actually 4 weeks. And then for a smaller portion of you, it's for 4 months, or the 4th month of the year, which if we think about 4 weeks, so the winter solstice is on December 21st, about there. And oh, actually I have a really cool blog post coming out on the winter solstice, so make sure you're subscribed to my email newsletter for that. But yeah, that's going to be, you know, the initiation of winter. So I'm recording this for you on the 13th, so that's about 5 weeks away. So I think as we start getting closer to winter, you're going to start to see more changes in your life. And then the other cards we have the 7 Star Sisters, Birth and Creations, Tapestry of Life, and Expression. Now this one did come up in reverse, so that kind of makes sense with this, because it's like, yes, there's this birthing going on. This can also be a card about strong partnerships in your life, especially with other female leaders or other female light workers. So like I was talking about with the business partnerships that I have, right? They're all women-owned businesses and we support one another, you know. And then you've got jump in, Andromeda energy, adventure, say yes to change. And it's really interesting too, because this is like an eye, right? If you could see it, it's an eye. So I think this might be a nudge too about doing some work on your third eye. So the people that pick this pile, I think you need to practice listening to some third eye music, potentially even doing a meditation that's specifically for the third eye. You know, visioning, drum journeying can be an interesting way to kind of, that's more of a root chakra spiritual practice, to be honest, but any kind of visioning work that can connect you with some type of spiritual sight beyond just your own and what you're able to access can be very powerful too right now, because I think you are in this kind of, you're a little bit in need of some spiritual support here. I, of course, do, you know, private sessions. I do private card readings. I do private astrology and soul coaching, which is when I combine the two. So I'm happy to hold space for that for you. I feel like we need a bonus card for this pile. So let's pull from the goddess deck for that. I see you, Montes. My dog. He's the cutest and bestest and loveliest lovey of my life. All right, so what does pile 1 need to see, hear, feel, and understand right now? It's interesting too, as I'm shuffling the cards, I'm just noticing that the same cards just kept getting placed into the same spot in the deck. So I do think that the people that pick this pile, there's a general sense of frustration of like, you know, where is anything going? And things are not moving as quickly as I would like. You have Mama Kocha or Ochoa, I'm not sure, I think it's a Q. It's just the typeface they used. I sometimes don't know what the first letter is. And this is water. So you know, we had some winter vibes here, and then we have water. So this could definitely be a nudge for some manifestations also occurring when we get to Pisces season, because that is the water sign in the winter season. But I also, you know, with water, this is about flowing. This is about getting more into your divine feminine energy, more into the yin energy. So I think, you know, for the people that pick this pile, your medicine right now, maybe that's what I'll title this video. What is your medicine right now? I think your medicine right now is to practice some third eye work, some visioning work. If you can even do some type of spiritual journeying. I know Sage Goddess does elder council with some of her private membership groups. I love drum journeys, and you can access those online. But you also could just go on YouTube and type in third eye music and listen to that and try to meditate with that. Personally, I don't like to meditate with music. I like to meditate quietly, but as specific altar that I would go to every time. And that's actually a great way to work on your third eye too, is just meditation. So there's lots of ways you could access this energy. And then with water, this can be, you know, work on bringing in more of that feminine, that yin element, practice being receptive. So when someone gives you a compliment, say, I received that. And like, don't try to rationalize it or challenge it or diminish it. Just say, I received that, thank you, you know. So working on your receptivity as well. If someone offers you a discount on something, or somebody offers you something that is a value that you've been wanting, instead of, you know, poo-pooing it or declining it, be like, okay, maybe I'll consider that because that could help me receive. This can also be a nudge for you to also work with the element of water. So drink more water, visit water. Kuan Yin also is a goddess that's strongly linked to the water element, and she had a pretty strong message here for the people that pick this pile. Okay, so you might want to look into Kuan Yin. So those are the messages for you, pile 1 peeps. Please leave a comment. Let me know how that was for you. Subscribe to this channel, give this video a like, and hit that notification bell if you haven't already, so you get updated when I upload new videos. But of course, my recommendation is the best way is to be subscribed to my email newsletter, because then you get updates on my blog posts and everything. So that's my recommendation. And you can do that at julieannfaye.com, by the way, if I haven't mentioned that. All right, let me take a sip of juice. And let's get into it. Pile number 2. So pile number 2 peeps, if you pick this pile, these are the cards for you. There's a lot more cards, just looks like very few. So let's see what we got here. Oh, I love that. Love that. Okay. All right, so people that picked pile number 2, we definitely have a lot of healing going on, especially heart healing with people that pick this pile, and really a lot of energy here about love and forgiveness. And a couple things here are a continuation of pile number 1's messages. So we do have Hecate, the in-between, one of my fave goddesses. I work with her Sage Goddess perfume all the time. Love her. So, you know, there is this sense of feeling like, but for you guys, this is not so much about feeling in between in terms of the work you're putting into manifestations and wanting to see their results, which was more so the message pile 1. So if that resonated, you might want to watch pile 1. But this is more so, I think, for you guys, understanding that you have done a lot of heart healing work already, a lot, but there's still a little bit more to go. And I think that's why you feel like you're in the in-between. It's like you're almost in a place where you might be more receptive to bring in potentially a new relationship or a new upgrade to relationships in your life, or just some type of new upgrade to your heart chakra. But there's also part of you that's still kind of healing old wounds. And this could also be even within the relationship of yourself. So we have here I don't know how to say it, H-R-A-E-T-H here, longing for home, homesick for the stars. Okay, so man, I can relate to this. This just has such beautiful, you know, pastel pink energy and soft purples. So, you know, this is, yeah, a lot about heart chakra and the crown chakra. So You know, this is like being very, very sensitive, and also sometimes really struggling to just live on the earth, you know. And I picked this pile, so I'm like, so, you know, this is like, yeah, really at times struggling with your sensitivity, understanding that you have a really important mission here because you are so filled with energy, you know, to give to others, and being a light worker and having this amazing mission to, you know, transform people in their heart spaces and be like a heart-centered leader. But there's also this deep, at times, discomfort because you are so sensitive. And it can be really, really difficult living on earth where people are very complex. You know, they absorb energy, they have different things that they project. I actually just finished writing a blog post, which is now live, which says 5 very approved ways that you can feel more safe and secure. So pile 2 peeps, please check out that blog post that I wrote, because it's a really good one about some different techniques that you can do to shift from fear to love, and some interesting, even like personal reflections at the end from me about just, you know, ways we kind of need to change as a society, and encouraging us to really consider and look at things in a different way, you know, to be more supportive and loving to people with our actions. So yeah, there's this longing here for you to kind of return back to what you're more familiar with, which is more of the non-3D realm, right? Which is not, you know, the loving realms, the angelic realms, and even the fairy realms too, right? They're filled with much more high vibrational frequencies where there aren't things like manipulation and guilt and shame and hatred and, you know, all these things that are really toxic emotions that people project on each other. And it can be very, very sensitive to be, you know, in a world in which those exist, and you're like, wait a minute, like I'm so aware and familiar with what the energy of where I came from, the star systems that I came from, where that didn't exist, you know, and it's so alien to me that people could behave this way. And you know, I was reading a book, I actually need to get back into reading it, but it's a book on Lemuria and Atlantis and the Lost Lands, and they talk about how in Lemuria, you know, the author writes a lot about, she did a lot of visioning work and she also spoke with like incarnated Lemurians, and she did a lot of work on trying to access what was it like to live in Lemuria and Atlantis and these different realms. She also has a whole section on Avalon, which I haven't gotten to yet, but I'm looking forward to that. And, you know, she talked about in Lemuria how first of all, their third eye chakra was extremely enlarged and very prominent. So they would have this deep spiritual visioning just wherever they went. It was prominent, it was on their face. And over time that became diminished, you know. And also that toxic emotions that could be projected onto other people didn't really exist. So they often had their energy just kind of front and center. They were loving and they projected love. And it was a very foreign concept to them to have someone that would project hate or negative energy onto them. So they were very pure and very sensitive and very open with their love and their energy. It wasn't until they kind of, you know, the society kind of progressed through time that it's in combination with other things and being exposed to other cultures that they learned that, like, wow, not everyone is like us, and we do have the potential to be hurt by people. And that was something that wasn't originally in their consciousness, though. And also other things like whenever someone was sick, they could actually see that in their auric field right away, you know, so they would be aware of it and they could work on healing it. Whereas now in society, you know, of course, if someone's noticeably physically sick, we can still see that, which is often a manifestation of energetic things that are going on. But someone can be energetically sick. They could be filled with a lot of energetic, just energy that's not of their own. Maybe they've absorbed it from other people. Maybe they've absorbed it from watching the news or picked it up from someone else. And that can actually make your aura sick, you know, or they have their own inner wounds or their own pain that's there and it's not being addressed or healed. So that's also making their auric field sick. And, you know, over time, we've lost the ability to see that so clearly. So a lot of times people who are very sensitive and empathic, they can feel that, but they can't quite put their finger on what it is, but they just know that something doesn't feel right, that the vibe is off or something. And they can feel that. And part of what empaths have to learn is to trust their gut feelings and to practice having boundaries and understanding that they're not meant to heal everyone. You know, you guys have the phoenix will rise. You are not permitted to enter into the divine fire of personal transformation unless you are capable and worthy of the challenge. The reward bestowed at the other side of the journey is such that all suffering throughout is redeemed. No matter what struggle you have endured, you shall rise again. This is your destiny. I love this card so much. I have pulled this card a lot because I actually have Pluto in my first house. So that's the ultimate, like, I have been through very intense and deep traumas in my life. And I am literally the phoenix will rise. That is my story, you know, and I continue to have cycles of energetic death and rebirth that I, you know, go through. So that does make me stronger, and it also makes me more capable of helping and healing others. Doesn't make it fun in the process of what I'm being in, but so there might be people that also pick this pile that can really resonate with that, where you are a very empathic and a very sensitive soul, and you know, maybe you've been in situations where people weren't kind to you, they're abusive to you, you know, past relationships or so many things where they were really hurtful to you, and it's been a tough go around for you to learn about, you know, that's part of the reality on the earth school, is that not everybody is what they seem. And, you know, also that not everybody is here for you to fix and heal. There are people that you're meant to heal and help, but it's not everybody. You know, everybody's on their own unique journeys. So we do have I'm sorry, defenselessness, righting past wrongs, and uprooting. So yeah, I think this is just a message here of like someone from your past. I'm getting this is also this pile. It's a very strong like relationship pile as well. So this could be for a lot of people about romantic relationships. There's just this need for forgiving the past and people that have harmed you in the past, and potentially trauma or even abuse that you've gone through in the past. And you can see here that the ground is being broken, you know, and the two souls are there. They're now separated, but it's like the energy is freeing itself up from the ground. So I see that it's like these two souls, you know, and again, I'm getting the strong sense that this is like past life energies, but specifically like this is like, you know, some type of enmeshment potentially with a romantic relationship or like a long-term romantic relationship here, where this is like a long history of trauma and pain, you know, going through past lives between these two souls. And it might be that you tried to work it out with this person this time around and it just like really didn't work, you know. So the ground literally broke away, and now it's like these two souls are on their own individual journeys, but they both are, you know, sorry for the way that things went down, but each of them had different lessons to learn in that scenario. We have Rose Pink Dragon, prepares your heart to connect with the higher facets of the cosmic heart. Open your heart to warm-hearted love, and Diamond Light, connect with the love of the universe. So I feel like this is just, you know, a message that you are supported and loved by the universe, you know, and it might be really powerful for you to work with roses and pinks and reds. I know I bought myself roses recently and they totally cheered me up. So, you know, working with like also Mother Mary is strongly linked to roses and can serve as a loving unconditional mother, you know, and is a wonderful ascended master to work with for healing the heart chakra while at the same time having important boundaries in your life. Okay. And then we have deep cellular healing, Arcturus energy, physical and emotional healing. So you guys are healing the pile that picked the people that picked this pile. You guys are totally healing. And I think that's why you got the in-between here, because you know that you're healing and that you're much further in the progress of healing this past relationship and this past old pain than you have been ever before. But it's like there's still a little bit more to go here with this in-between. And I'm hearing 4 to 6 weeks for you guys. So I feel like by 4 to 6 weeks, it's like, especially by 6 weeks, by the end of the year going into 2021, I think you guys reach some type of new energetic level with your energy as it relates to this old past relationship or this old kind of karmic wound that you have. It's like you reach this new phase and you're healing with it. And I think that it gives you this ability to kind of breathe and kind of release that energy. In this card, you could see that energy coming up from like those deep deep parts. And actually, if you look at this card, there's the two souls there, right? I didn't even see that the first time around. So there's the two souls underground, like that they have these cords that go down so deep, this past life energy, you know, with the relationship between them. And again, I'm getting a sense it's really, this is not like short-term people or situations that have come in. This is like, you were like, you know, with this person for years, you knew this person in past lives, or it was, you know, there's a deep, deep energetic history with this person. And you are learning how to, you know, forgive that and learning how to be here on this earth school while also being a sensitive soul and forgiving that. You're learning all of these things, which is a lot, you know, and I think that's why you guys have the Phoenix will rise here. So it's like, yeah, you're going to overcome this and you're going to move through this energy. So that was a pretty powerful reading, pile 2. Please leave a comment. Let me know how that resonated with you, and like this video, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, all the things. Make sure you subscribe to my email newsletter, which is the best way to stay up to date with all the new things with my spiritual business. Much love. All right, pile 3 peeps. These are the messages for you. So let me turn these over and let's take a look at what we got. Oh, I love that goddess. Okay, I'm gonna take a sip of juice. All right, so we got some really interesting ones here, pile 3. And I feel like, as often happens when I do these pick-a-card videos, this is kind of an evolution of what's come up in the first 2 piles, but it's like you guys are at, you know, if this was like a wave, you guys are a little bit further down the wave than the ones that came before. However, the really magical thing about pick-a-cards is that they're always matching to your vibrational frequency. So you can come back to a pick-a-card video. I like to actually just use the, you know, scroll bar and just like scan energetically and then just let it go and see what that message is that's being spoken, and that can be powerful. Or just pick a different pile, and you'll find that even if you picked one pile the first go around, come back to the video sometime later, another time, pick a different pile, because maybe energetically you're matching to that frequency. So everybody in this pick a card experience has the ability to match with all the piles, okay, at any time. So nobody's better than anybody else for picking one pile over the other. It's just based on energetically what you're matching to. So I strongly recommend people do actually come back to the videos and they try again, because it's like you'll achieve a new layer or some type of new experience with it, you know, if you come back and you try it a different way again. So pile 3 peeps, you got surrender to the sweetness, Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. Okay, so this is like the energy of life is good right now. I feel happy. I feel this sweetness. I feel this positivity. I feel good about my life. You have love your body and live your dreams. And this is from the Kuan Yin Oracle. I want you to experience all that life has to offer. I want you to see your dreams coming alive in the world. When you love the sacred soul animal of your body as I love you, then you will manifest all that is divinely meant for you and thrive. So this could also, with that Venusian energy here, this could also be a nudge about adorning yourself in sacred things. So treat yourself to that, you know, new crystal jewelry or that new lipstick or whatever it may be, to really just help you kind of radiate in your body. We have breath of the cosmos, my will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. So let's see what that kind of comes up with, because I'm not getting a big intuitive hit with that just yet. We have portal, doors are opening, you decide, rewards, and wild card. And then we've got air and fire dragon, expands your creative energies, harness your creativity, excitement, and enthusiasm, communicate your passion. And then we've got probably one of my most favorite goddesses is Isis, rebirth, the Egyptian goddess that teaches us about balancing work and home and boundaries and the divine feminine and sovereignty, being in our sovereignty. She's just amazing in all ways, and I love her. So yeah, I feel like for people that are resonating with this pile right now, that's probably a better way to say it instead of, but it's okay. as you guys are tapping into your Venusian energy, which is about beauty and pleasure in life, treating yourself to little things, you know, and just like I was saying at the beginning, like I painted my nails, I'm wearing my new lipstick, and that makes me feel so good, right? So that helps me get into this energy of the divine feminine and appreciate myself as a sovereign being here on earth. So, you know, you guys also might enjoy, so there's a blog post I wrote that is 5 ways to tap into your inner fairy queen. And that's already on my Julianne Faye blog, so check that out because you guys might enjoy listening to a lot of the tips I have on there. In fact, I'm actually embodying quite a few of the tips right now with the eyeshadow and various things. So check out that blog post if you haven't read it already, because it's a really good read about embracing kind of this queenly, magical, beautiful part of yourself, you know, that can be respected and adored. But I feel like for people that pick this pile, it's sort of like through your sacral chakra, through your creative works, you could be a very creative person producing things creatively, which could come in the form of like coloring, painting, writing, design, all these different things. Through this creative energy, you guys are actually able to like birth new things into being. And this actually kind of adds to like your magic and your magical energy here, you know. And then you have breath of the cosmos. It says, my will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. So it's like when you create like this, and you bring in that kind of goddessy energy, which is related to creation and receptivity and, you know, the womb space, creating something out of nothing happens from the womb. It's like you guys are like really, really working with the universe when you do this, and you're teaching yourself and other people almost like how to make something out of seemingly nothing, you know. And with portal here, you know, doors are opening, you decide rewards, wild card. It's like there's going to be some more to this story. And I think with that wild card energy, it's like, it could be a little bit unexpected or unpredicted. You don't know yet the ways in which your creative energies, so I can resonate with this pile too. I can always resonate with all the piles, to be honest. You don't know yet, like, you know, all the ways and methods and abilities that your creative energy could be seen and heard and open up new doors for you. It's still kind of unraveling itself, you know. So the people that pick this pile, your medicine is about respecting that your creativity is almost like a sacred art. That is something that you do kind of in communion with the universe to kind of create things out of nothing, and that it's almost like birthing of children or like miracles in its cells being formed, you know. Just the other day, I was actually tapping into certain feelings, and then I wrote this blog post I was not expecting to write, and it just flowed. And, you know, so that's kind of like the energy here. And maybe for you guys, it's not, you know, blog posting or writing, but there's something here where when you're in that element, it's like, wow, you're so very much like in your power. And it's just like, whew, you know, like you guys create things, and then because you create that, it's like a snowball, and you can create more and more, and it just like flourishes and grows. Let's get one more goddessy card here for this pile. And then with the love your body and live your dreams, and then the surrender to the sweetness, I think it's also like, don't feel guilt and shame if you want to treat yourself to something, you know. How appropriate. Ishtar, communion. So that's kind of what I was getting. It's like, you know, and I just cut the deck and I got Mama Kila, which is the moon. So when you guys are connecting to your feelings and your emotions, look at that amazing energy there coming off of her. You know, when you guys are connecting to your feelings and you're tapping into that divine feminine energy, it's very much like you are literally a channel, you know, you're in communion with the universe to create things. You know, you could see on this card, it's like, who knows exactly where she is or what she's doing, but she's feeling something, right? It's kind of like that energy. It's like you're in the zone. So keep up with it, okay? Keep up with being in the zone, that creative zone, because it's actually working miracles in your life. And I think some of the miracles that it's working, you can't even perceive of or see or feel yet. But that's because you got that wild card energy there a bit, you know, and you got portals. So it's like, yeah, I think there's going to be some things that open up for you with this, but it's a little bit of a wild card right now. It's like kind of unseen. But this card, this pile is just encouraging you to keep going with it, because it's actually energetically doing really good things for you when you're in that creative spark. And then with these original cards here, love your body, live your dreams, surrender to the sweetness. This is just saying that when you indulge in something to treat yourself, whether it be a reading with me, I hope, or, you know, just like I've been treating myself to little things lately, and I've reached a point where I'm like, oh, like it's way too much, you know. And these are also little things, you know, but we have to just remember that we're here to enjoy our life. We're here to be on this earth school to receive pleasures and to enjoy being actually a human being on earth, right? When we go back to the energetic realm, we can't wear earrings. We can't wear, I mean, I guess you could, but it's not going to be the same sensual pleasure, right, as it would to be here on earth and to experience these things. So it's a little bit of, you know, within reason, okay, you, Archangel Gabriel, help me communicate this, because I don't want to make everybody like splurgeaholics, but so, you know, it's more so that when you honor to yourself, yes, I am worthy of this new pair of earrings, or yes, I'm worthy of this new lipstick, or yes, I'm worthy of this paid reading, or whatever it might be, you're telling yourself that, yes, I'm worth it. I am deserving of love and respect. And that actually puts that energy out into the universe, because you're loving and respecting yourself. And can you love and respect yourself without buying things? Heck yeah. You know, you can do that by writing loving affirmations to yourself. Like, money doesn't have to be involved with this, but money is just an energy form. It's really meaningless if you think about it, right? It's just an energy form between two people to exchange energy so that one person can receive what the other has. And that's really all it is. However, money is valuable to be able to do certain things on earth, right? So to get access to certain tools or information, or, you know, safety and security, to be able to eat, things like that, right? We do need money to live on earth. So I think this is just saying that if you're doing a little bit of, like, not in excess, but just a little bit of spending on yourself lately, don't feel like you have to shame and guilt yourself that you're doing that, because part of it is you just enjoying the sweetness of life and helping you to really love on your body, you know. So I would say though to this, ask yourself, if I bring this thing into my space or into my, you know, auric field, is it high vibe? Is it gonna make me feel happy and nourished and fulfilled? Or is it kind of like a cheap, fast thrill? You know, because this is like very Taurian energy here. And especially with Uranus in Taurus right now, and people within this pile, they might be strongly vibing with the Uranus and Taurus, depending upon where it is in your chart. Especially with Uranus and Taurus, this is about upgrading the attachments we have materially, you know, from a more of a place that's high vibe and even potentially more spiritual, or just higher value in some type of way. So for example, I've been updating a lot of things with my makeup, right? And even my wardrobe. And I talk about that too, even in that Eco Fairy guide, which is a great resource for people that pick this pile. Check out what I have in there, because that's a lot of Uranus and Taurus approved things that I myself have been upgrading. You know, I love Me Undies so much, which are, you know, so fab. So check it out in that Eco Fairy blog post, and there's a link there which supports me, and then you also can get a discount when you buy through that link. So yeah, I feel like this is just, you know, the energy of like treating yourself and upgrading potentially your style or the way you look or pleasures that you bring into your life, but in a way that's like actually really deeply meaningful to you, from a place of respect and love about yourself as like a goddessy woman or a spiritual woman, or, you know, however you identify, just a person here on the earth that wants to be more in that sovereign energy in a way that's respectful to yourself and also the planet. So check out that Eco Fairy guide, okay, people that pick this pile. So I'm going to leave it at that. Please leave a comment below. Let me know what pile you picked and how it was for you. Obviously, if you're still in this one, you picked pile 3, but you know. And subscribe to my channel, like this video, hit the notification bell, all the things. And please make sure you're subscribed to my email newsletter, because that's the best way to find out about the latest in specials and blog posts and all the things. And if you watch this video all the way through, which I know some people do, thank you, thank you, thank you. I so see you and appreciate you. And I'm sending you fairy kisses and love. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a wonderful cycle with this 2-week window here with this new moon in Scorpio. I didn't really talk about it at all at the beginning, but I will be, of course, it's available for those in Astro Fairy. You can learn about it. I go over it, you know, in depth in there. And then also, what else do I want to say? I'm sure I'll be talking about it in blog posts and the like, and maybe I'll talk about it a tiny bit at the beginning of my email newsletter. So, bye everyone.